It's time to get the Rocket League underway, and these matches could not mean more. Gen.G playing for their Boston life. Complexity trying to put down the big beast that won't go away. One more time, get up and get loud. It's game day.
It's game day in the most exciting North American tournament that we have had in a long time. And Turtle, I am excited for this one. Complexity with a win. Get into Boston. And V1, they're the biggest Gen.G fans right now. They want to see them move on so they still have a chance to make Boston.
I mean, come on. You can't get any better than this if you're Gen.G, backs against the wall, trying to at least survive. If you're Complexity, the fate is in your own hands. You just got to take this series win, and you secure your ticket all the way to Boston. This is surely going to go the distance. I mean, I want the drama, Jordan.
Drama for sure. I mean, both of these teams, they have had a struggle this split. Both of them falling early in the Spring Cup, and nobody really expecting it, especially with how dominant they've been throughout the entire season. Gen.G getting #1 in fall, Complexity being right behind them at #3, and then in winter, the same deal, right? Complexity have had that come up thanks to CRR on the team, but Gen.G, they kind of walked into North America and owned it for a little while. They're kind of taking a step back, and teams are starting to figure out their style of play. They're still a great team, but it's not as free as it was earlier for Gen.G.
Right. I don't think that Gen.G are used to being in this situation, obviously. I mean, they've made both majors so far, obviously taken a major win themselves and have competed, in grand finals of the sort. And I think that these guys, when their backs are against the wall, we can finally see how they're going to perform in this region in North America. And it's all going to go down here on this pitch right now. In the first game so far, it's been a little bit of back and forth between both teams. I've seen solid pressure on both sides. However, it looks like Gen.G are trying to trap in Complexity and steal some boost.
Complexity maybe get a way out here. You see AJG going downfield to steal some boost. He actually picks up the demo. CR has a little bit of space, not a lot of boost though. Tried to buy himself enough space to get the boost. It was good enough to get Complexity back to midfield. AJG gets kicked out of the play, but here comes El Toro, drops it straight down, and CRR puts it in.
You talked about El Toro. Look at the work he's putting in. Perfect first touch to get behind the ball. Air dribble past Chronic. Nolly's caught with his hands empty and can't get a save, and an easy follow-up for CRR. And that's the setup that you're looking for to get past that Gen.G defense.
It's such a nasty duo, CRR and RazeBull.
Yeah.
Now, yesterday it was RazeBull getting all of those goals, but CRR is the one slicing the defense open. And other times you have RazeBull taking that slicing role and CRR being the finisher. Either way, oh my goodness, what a pinch. Nolly gets a nice one here for Gen.G.
Nolly from the corner. This is ridiculous stuff. I mean, you feel for Complexity and their defense right now. Can't even prepare that. And I don't even, do you call that a pinch or just a simple dunk there from Nolly in the corner?
A dunk pinch. So
dunk
like
pinch.
A dinch? We'll have to work.
Exactly. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Or a punk. You got punked.
A punk.
I like
okay.
I like that.
I like that
yeah,
too.
you got punked.
Whatever works for Nolly. I mean, that man winning 50-50s, getting his team back in, and that's such an important goal to get an immediate response against Complexity, who look to be building momentum.
Oh, Gen.G, nice little pass to apparently Jack. RazeBull's waiting for him. Gen.G are going to have to work for it here on offense. Chronic taking himself on the air dribble. AJG and RazeBull in position. Attempted pass there from Gen.G, but then no quick follow-up. You see AJG also continuing to harass the midfield line, going forward ahead of the ball, and just trying to disrupt the rotation of Gen.G. The entire game has been him just sitting either beyond the midfield line or right at it. Nice fake from CRR, but RazeBull, the tee up to AJG, it goes across to the post and it's in! RazeBull collects, and right in it goes.
And at first, I didn't think this was actually going to fall in off the post and out. AJG gets the dunk on Chronic after having that initial shot saved, and RazeBull can easily put that one away. Good pressure applied from Complexity, and this is the start that you wanted to see out of Complexity. I mean, up against the Green Wall Optic Gaming, they scored 0 goals in the first 2 games and let in 6 against the Green Wall, and this is the opposite story. They are starting out strong, Jorby.
Both of these teams, game 1 is extremely important when it comes to winning the series. When both teams win game one, they're around very close to a 90% win percentage. It's about like 88% for both teams. Gen.G have only lost 3 matches, and so have Complexity when they have won game one. So Complexity hanging on to this lead right here. It's a big one for them, especially with how that record has panned out for them. Gen.G, though, full bore double commit. And now AJG gets a free look. Chronic, last man back. CRR's gonna take it himself and just lap his car off the ball. AJG, more space. Gen.G have to sit back. Nolly was first on it, had no boost. Now he's second on it. Raise Bull dropping it back off.
He still had no boost. I think that's been a big struggle right now for Gen.G. They can't get comfortable. We saw a couple of double commits. Now Abjack has some space. Looks to go for a mind game against Raise Bull, but CRR crashing through a good 50-50 with a follow-up. Now a demo, so much space for Complexity, but the pass coming out from the midfield is not going to fully go through the defensive line. And we still got a 1-goal lead for Complexity.
Complexity sitting in that first to second man passing lane each time, and it's killing Gen.G's ability to pass the ball, but that was a nice progression. The shot maybe could have been a bit better, but it was a good touch, good steal from apparently Jack. AJG's not letting it go. And Chronic's just been waiting around on offense, waiting for a chance, but one is never coming. Every time Nolly or Abjack get around, look, there's another one. Chronic can't go. Actually, Raise Bull missed. CRR not quite biting on that 50-50, and CRR just wide of the net. Gen.G struggling. Can they get back downfield at the end of regulation?
Pop up.
Chronic has an Abjack downfield, gets the 50. Jack moves it downfield. Nolly, not a lot of boost with Chronic, and it drops straight to the ground. Complexity take game one.
Wow, and it was confident even at the end there. I mean, we saw a couple of chances string together for Gen.G, but nothing that had a solid look at the net. I think we can definitely give a lot of credit to the defense and the ability to read the field for Complexity. Barely any passes getting through. There's always a player in those passing lanes themselves, and as we take a look at the Mobile One high performance replay, we are seeing Complexity hitting their stride, feeling confident, and also winning challenges. The only goal we saw was just that blunder out of Nolly, and everything else was purely the blue team dominant and on a tear, Jorby.
And just to reestablish what the stakes are right now to make Boston, version 1 are currently still in the race. They want Complexity to win. At the start of this, I said Gen.G. It's not Gen.G.
Come on,
they want
Jorby.
Complexity
Get yourself
to win.
together.
But if Complexity win, they make the major. And so Complexity obviously wants Complexity to win. Optic want Gen.G to win.
Yeah.
That will make their chances a lot better. Obviously, Optic have a lot of chances if they just win their games today. But for version 1, they lost theirs, and now they're sitting in the waiting room to see what happens with these results. So now underway in game number 2. Will Gen.G have similar struggles on offense? They constantly got the ball killed to the corners. Complexity have a really good sense for how Gen.G want to move the ball. Those soft first to second man passes, the misdirection. Complexity have positioned themselves to be ready for those opportunities, and they have clamped down the defense on Gen.G.
It also feels like the challenge game is so heavily in favor right now of Complexity, and as I say that, Abjack was just trailing behind the ball, and I don't even think this came down to a big 50-50 win because AJG was going for a back pass, but Abjack had it read the entire way and says, thank you very much, I'll take the free shot.
Absolutely need a confidence builder. They're getting stuff for most of game 1. And this Gen.G team, they're not really averse to criticism. In fact, some may even say they're a little too critical on themselves. Even when they're winning majors, they're like, there's still so much that we have to improve on. There's still, we're not playing exactly the way we want to. And I can only imagine how they're feeling right now with how the struggles have been this split. All that matters is what's in front of you. Jack getting that first goal. Chronic trying again, but solo ball not going to work. Raise Bull just locks it down. Complexity to get back to the midfield, but that's a good 50. Back to Nolly, to Chronic, and denied by AJG again on defense, who continues to cut up this Gen.G offense.
I mean, just playing man coverage, understanding exactly where Gen.G want to pass this ball, putting yourself in that similar position instead of chasing where the ball's ending up. That's a good demo from Abjack, but CRR, nice dribble and wastes so much time. AJG up in the air, another 50-50 win. It's challenges like that that have helped Complexity move out on offense, but it looks like the third man is extending forward. Even if that second man loses a challenge, there's always a good follow-up from Gen.G's third.
They were a little relaxed in the first game, or for most of the first game too. Third man not willing to commit as often.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're in position, you're in the lead. You have the boost advantage as well. Jack gets that challenge, but there's no follow-up coming. They get all set up. Jack's just sitting there, and AJG comes back. Razebull also sitting close, full tank of boost. Nice pop. CRR on the wing. Chronic is there. Gen.G break it up. Complexity get a couple of 50s, but nothing's really developing for them.
I mean, they're trying to transition out. We're seeing air dribbles, passes like this from Razebull to AJG, back to the midfield, but good interception from Chronic keeps them in the lead and still with some confidence to move with. I think that every time Complexity have tried transitioning, they're met with a challenge like this from Abjack. Things have been picked up in Game 2 for Gen.G.
No shots on net so far for Complexity. Right to the 5 from Gen.G. Abjack trying to size up Razebull. He's able to lose the ball to Chronic. Now Chronic gets underneath it, but like who it is again, it's Razebull. Another shot off the bar. Jack gets underneath them. Gen.G 2 up.
They've really hit a different gear. Gen.G, look at the speed out of Nolly. Way in front of CRR, off the backboard. AJG's flopping, trying to get a pre-jump save. And an even cleaner follow-up out of Abjack. I'm telling you, this is a completely different roster, it feels like, in Game 2. They were slow in Game 1, losing so many challenges, Jorby, but now with that increased aggression from the third man, it feels like they can stay on offense longer and try to break down that Complexity defense.
Complexity still held over half the game played to 0 shots on net. Maybe they get one here. Razebull dumping it to CRR, but he's got no boost. That's a good 50 to get with no boost, but the follow-up not forthcoming. Gen.G cover it up. Razebull will try again. CRR downfield. AJG in support. Nolly's there to clamp it down again.
Yeah, another.
And they have AJG in that area, but Nolly's already on the wall. He's already blocked the path for that passing lane. Wait,
here we go.
It's
That's
open.
everybody. That's everybody.
Oh, no.
Darby, they had it. They had it.
That's foul, bro.
It wasn't even a shot. They didn't even get a shot on target. They're still sitting at 0.
Bro, well,
that's painful.
You don't get many like that. There's Gen.G, pass in front, but right behind apparently Jack. Oh, nice 50 from Razebull. CRR, though, nothing for him. AJG forced in the air again.
All right, through the corner, let's see what happens. And, of course, Chronic can find Nolly downfield. Abjack is so close as that second man. And there's more space. What do Complexity decide to do with it? They find Razebull. It's off the mark again. And then this follow-up is on target. But we've got 2 goalkeepers in the net, and they're obviously going to get that save. Complexity can't even buy a goal.
Oh, and Jack on the spawn will get the save. They got the bump in midfield. They got the free chance to CRR. CRR saw the space. He just went for the shot, and Jack spawns and ruins his day. Now, El Toro with the fake. But nothing's developing. CRR leaves it. Lets Chronic take. AJG back to CRR. Cut off by apparently Jack. Forbidden Temple certainly looks like Gen.G's.
Yeah, this is huge out of Gen.G. You talked about that 90% win rate after winning Game 1 for both teams, and obviously you want to get a good response and retaliation from Gen.G. And how about holding Complexity scoreless and only to what feels like a few shots. This is the 3rd one following up for Complexity, and I said scoreless, and I guess with 8 seconds left, there's a chance, Jorby.
I mean, CRR getting him to bite. Chronic getting kicked out of the way. And yeah, what kind of fancy stuff does Complexity have on the kickoff here?
There's no way, right? We don't
no, watch out for the fake. Fake's too obvious, right?
Okay.
No spanish, just a 50. Right back to El Toro. Hang on a second. No, Nolly's there. Yeah, Nolly cut it.
Hey, it bounced. You never know, Jorby.
Touch though. Oh, that's a decent pop. And CRR. Ooh. Yo, hold up. Okay, yeah, there we go. GG. Game 2 goes to Gen.G.
It looks fruitful, though. I had a good feeling about it for a second. Gen.G were dominant all game long, and they do end up on the top. But they gave an inch to Complexity, who could have made an opening and created a couple of chances. But for the most part, it felt very off their mark. Even whenever they had what felt like 2 chances to capitalize and punish against Gen.G, they were just slightly wide and not hitting the shots they needed to, Jorby.
Yeah, Complexity took too long to get the offense engine going, and Gen.G were able to find those passing lanes. That first minute, though, it still looked promising for Complexity because they were getting in the passing lanes, they were beating them to the ball, but Jack in midfield was flying, winning those. I mean, it wasn't even 50-50s. He was just straight up beating Complexity to the ball several times as they tried to clear it out. And he just had the better of them there. Gen.G have the pitch control. They get the game win and try to even it out.
I do like the aggression out of Jack, though. I mean, you're talking about apparently Jack. I think that first goal speaks to the new style that he's going for, at least in game 2. Extending that rotation forward, being more aggressive, staying behind the ball, trailing it more instead of trying to highlight his own defensive capabilities. I think that him being aggressive and letting Chronic and Nolly have more opportunities behind the ball when it pinches out is the ideal perspective for Gen.G here. And moving into game 3, it's all for Complexity to respond and retaliate.
Is Jack playing in a kitchen?
Dude,
I swear, Jack is in a different location every tournament. That's true. Your proximity to water is really close.
You're close to the water filter. You got some ice there. You got CRR with some ice on the shooting too, but unfortunately can't get past Abjack, who continues to refresh his water as he's in the kitchen, and he's not missing.
He's cooking.
That's right.
Let's see what he cooks up here for Gen.G. Well, he comes right back as third man. Take away the option for Complexity. Not the best first touch from him. He didn't get a challenge out of AJG, though.
Oh, what a
Chronic. Easy challenge for him. Nolly, nice catch off the
flip.
ceiling. Oh, that's disgusting. Hello, Nolly.
Oh, my. I think I need to take a shower after this and just use every ounce of body wash that I have because I feel disgusting just watching this. From the ceiling, saving the flip on the bottom side of his car. Snipes it into the goal. That is ridiculous out of Nolly.
Just has... He's got that it factor, man. Here he comes again. But he's not going to get much. He was looking for Abjack. CRR had him covered. And Abjack, nice job weaving with the Complexity defense, but that 50 just squeezes the whole way back to Gen.G's corner. Again, nothing there for Complexity. Forced back to the blue. Gen.G really starting to own that transition.
Yeah. I mean, the midfield has had their name written all over it, but Raiseball by himself, those are the passing that we were looking for out of game 1. You think back to that initial assist out of Raiseball where he was able to stay behind the ball. More of that would surely yield some results, but they're getting stuffed in the midfield again. Chronic faking the challenge, leaves it for Abjack, and it's clear down the other end. Complexity cannot get any movement behind the ball past the midfield.
Yeah, ball squirt right, or just squeezes right by the middle, but how about the lead from CRR on this one? Load up the gunpowder, 138 kilometers per hour. Sheesh.
And they're actually prioritizing the possession there. You saw the touch from, I believe it was Raiseball, who kept it in the midfield and didn't want to go forward down the other side. Back and forth, the possession strong for Complexity. And we've seen some highlight plays so far in game 3.
Bump on CRR. Abjack tried to get there. Raiseball available to cover. Just trying to clear the ball out. Abjack back to Chronic. Make life difficult for Complexity to build up that pressure. AJG, full tank of boost. Just trying to keep it tight. Give himself a 50. He got it, but he's also got to get the follow-up, and everyone's getting deleted behind him. Nolly, non-touch against AJG, gives Jack the ball. There's that misdirection again for Gen.G. Complexity, they see first man behind the ball. AJG thinks, I gotta get up there, gotta challenge that. Nolly takes advantage, but here comes El Toro. Abjack again on the wall. And everything that starts to look like a threat for Complexity ends up being a nothing burger. But how about that one? Nolly serves that one up on a bun and gets the second goal.
Look at this vision out of Abjack. He sees Nolly pushing forward. Nice little pass in the midfield. Raiseball doesn't cut the rotation early enough to even get a piece of the ball. And it's a beautiful shot out of Nolly. 2 goals to that man's name. And Gen.G are back on top.
Let's see what Gen.G got again. They win the kickoff clean. Chronic. Decent first touch, but Raiseball comes out to meet him. Now Abjack after the first. He's by AJG. Forces the 50 out across another. The shot denied by El Toro. Chronic getting up there. The deletion. The scoring. Chronic puts it in. And Gen.G starting to own Complexity here.
I just want to talk about Abjack every opportunity I get. This man is going Super Saiyan. He started that whole playoff with the fake into the air dribble, and then now he sets up his teammates, Chronic, Nolly, getting aggressive, getting a demo, and also the follow-up. That's 3 players from Gen.G all participating in a single goal and securing security with a 2-goal lead. Gen.G comfortable, but there's still plenty of time for Complexity, and especially with a pass like that off the backboard, we might see another one.
Hit up high here for Nolly. Raise Bull with control and a reset, but it dropped away. AJG just gets a piece of that. CRR, last man. Raise Bull rotating in behind. He turns up, aggressive from Raise Bull. AJG now back alone. Jack knows it, but he can't get the bump. Nolly puts it right by him. Gen.G will continue the pressure. Continue the scoring. Nolly, another for him. Throw your hat on the field. That's a hat trick.
3 goals for Nolly. This is 2 assists out of Abject. The connection finding itself once again for Gen.G. Dish it out into the midfield, and you've got a fiery Nolly who's ready to snipe it again into the bottom side of the net. Abject, the vision. He's always finding his teammates, and Nolly's always hitting those goals.
Yeah, Nolly's eaten this game. He's created his own. Jack and Chronic have helped serve him up a couple. Yeah. CRR just misses. Raise Bull. Not much he's going to do with all 3 Gen.G players stacked in the net in front like that.
Oh, look at the patience, too, from Abject. He's got all the boost in the world, and he just wants to run this clock down, stay behind the ball, get a good 50. And I don't know about you, Jordan, we can talk about Nolly all we want, but it feels like Abject has been the star striker and assist playmaker for Gen.G, always behind the ball, always creating opportunities. And even on the defense, he's getting the saves, but not in time as Complexity just bring it within 2.
No, not in time indeed. Chronic comes off the wall while Nolly was still completing the challenge. Chronic with no boost, no pad spawning for him either. And Abject ends up losing that one, but what can you do if you're Chronic? It's an awkward situation. Abject has to come into cover. And Complexity finally found a situation where they could catch Gen.G out. You catch them on a little too low of boost. But now can you actually capitalize here? There's not a lot of time left in game 3.
I mean, it's just another moment where Complexity are surging late in a game. You think about the previous one following into this game number 3. Complexity had found a good goal with 8 seconds remaining, couldn't get the equalizer. Now they have 2 to get, 32 seconds on the clock. It just doesn't feel like there's enough time for them. And of course, we're going to see them continue to try their best, but Gen.G have them covered in the midfield. Abject staying behind the ball, but I just don't think it's enough out of Complexity. We needed a better start.
AJG can't even win a 50 in midfield. AJG have wasted enough time on the clock. Now it's just about keeping that rotation sound. How about do it? Well, Gen.G, after game 1, have completely flipped the table on Complexity. Complexity trying to find a way to recover right now. 1 more to go for Gen.G, and they're moving on, and Complexity are out.
I don't think we can overstate how important this series is alone for both teams. Complexity hold their own fate in this series. Just winning against Gen.G will send them to Boston. But Gen.G, if they lose, of course, they are out of Boston and don't even have a shot at making the major. This is everything on the line for them. And of course, they're playing like it. You see Nolly getting a hat trick, Abject being behind the ball, and Chronic filling in the gaps.
For Complexity, the offense has broken completely apart. Their rotation has been, a lot of solo effort, a lot of desperate clears. They have not had control of the ball for these last 2 games. And like, there's no passing. There's really no effective team play from them on offense. Partly due to Gen.G, but I also think due to how much pressure Gen.G have had, Complexity just feel the need to boom the ball away or go for the solo air dribble, hope for the next 50, because you aren't winning in the passing lanes right now. Gen.G with Nolly and Abject and Chronic are trying to put it together. It looked like it might be disastrous again for this team, but can they recover right here? Oh, Raise Bull, nice fake. 1 to beat in Chronic. Abject comes right back. It's never just 1, is it, Turtle?
Yeah, I mean, look at the hustle. Abject was one of the 2 players who actually bid on that initial fake, but he gets back in the rotation. You don't have enough time to slow down the pace with players like Abject getting back in rotation that quickly. And I agree. I think that since game 1, there hasn't been an area on the field where Complexity are excelling and beating Gen.G. The 50 department has been all Gen.G. The passing, the shooting, as well as just the vision, especially from Abjack, has been in favor of Gen.G. And because of that overwhelming pressure, I think Complexity are panicking a little bit more, but this has been a great beginning of their game, just moving the ball forward, and we're seeing better bits out of Complexity.
They're getting stuffed again. Oh, AJG, nice clear. They're gonna need a little more than that. CRR knows it. He at least forced Jack back a little bit. Razebull didn't really get a solid touch. He did push Jack off the ball. Gives CRR another chance. But again, where's the thought here beyond, let's just push it to the back wall, even though it's defended. We're just gonna full on air dribble and hope we get something. Here's a demo, but then Chronic, he stays behind the ball. They have to work harder than that. That's a good 50, back to Razebull, but a poor shot. Chronic makes an easy save. And Nolly gets the clear downfield. Complexity, again, a broken play downfield. There's not much thought beyond you slap the ball to the backboard and see if we get him to flinch.
Right.
But Gen.G, they have not flinched.
Well, I don't think they want to take the risk of sending more than one player behind the ball as well. Meanwhile, on the other side, Gen.G frequently will send two players in similar positions to go for the pass connection. And at this point, it looks like Complexity are waiting for a mistake out of Gen.G. They just want to punish and not risk anything. But they're sending two players on the ball, and you know what that means. A free goal for Chronic if you get past them.
Oh, Chronic, once again. CRR pulls off on this play, but Razebull's also covering that angle. The CRR coming around gives Chronic the space, thinking he can go and cut him off. Razebull also has that position right there. But somebody, really, it's up to CRR.
Yeah.
Turning and challenging on that ball, trusting that Razebull's got the fail state covered. But instead, you put both of you in the same position, and that just makes it a little easier for Chronic to push it by. AJG able to flick it by one, but Gen.G are owning the lobby right now.
Complexity refused to play as a unit right now, and instead just want to send one player forward with an air dribble, hope that the solo play works out, or maybe a demo can cause some panic. That's a equal demo there for Razebull, and I believe Chronic taking each other out. Nolly behind the ball and air dribble, and at this point in time, Gen.G have the lead. They can just hold things down, look to get better 50-50s, and run the clock into the ground with some demos from Abjack, a little pop out. CRR still behind the ball, and a good transition. What are they gonna do with it? It's immediately met by Chronic, double 50-50, back-to-back wins, and Gen.G are still behind the ball, Jorby.
I mean, that attempt from CRR to leave to second man is great if you've got second man right behind you on that lead, but Razebull was coming from a little farther back. His pass denied again on the shot. It's too low. It didn't force anybody from Gen.G to barely jump a few inches on that one, and Abjack, hard clear. Razebull cuts it off. Complexity, though, nobody's there for the follow-up again. Abjack in traffic. AJG is there to block him out. Chronic, quick shot. Razebull takes it away. Complexity are in desperation mode right now. They need the win. You can't rely on other people to get you to Boston. You're not going to get what you want.
Yeah.
If that's the case, they started off well. They got that game one win. And Gen.G obviously want to make it as well. And they're looking like it might happen. They don't qualify if they win, but they do get a little closer. And there's the second goal.
CRR win for it off the sidewall. The mechanical issue. Everybody on his team trusted him to find a touch, expecting him to at least hit that ball into the corner or possibly off the backboard. Anything to waste time for Gen.G on the transition, but unfortunately he doesn't come up with a single hit. It's another free one, 2-goal lead for Gen.G, and Complexity might just find themselves in a similar position of V1, waiting, watching on the sidelines, hoping that things work out and you can make it to Boston, and Gen.G are trying to pave their own path.
Well, the Tri-County, or the Tri-Country boys are having some trouble, but they barely get the save. Razebull desperately passing it to Nolly. The wrong player, the wrong time, and the wrong set. Nolly delivers what is likely the dagger to Complexity.
This feels like the final goal for Gen.G to send Complexity out of the tournament. And like we said, they're going to be watching from the sidelines. 44 seconds left. A good kickoff, though. If this rolls in, Abjack can't get there in time. So there's a potential for Complexity. We've seen crazier things happen, but I just can't see anything else getting through the defense of Gen.G besides maybe a kickoff goal like that.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Right? That feels like
Complexity are holding the dagger. They're holding it back somehow.
Yep. All right, let's see what happens.
They don't get the cheeky kickoff win there. Razebull's got no boost. AJG's got to play him close.
And
He just goes straight.
Past CRR.
He's got
was in the
CRR
black
right there,
spot.
but he feels like it's covered too because you have both players sitting there. You have Appjack sitting on the left side, and then you have Chronic sitting on the other side. So AJG's thinking, well, I'm just gonna go air dribble this because if I pass it, CRR's third man, and we're gonna get dunked and we're gonna lose. But like, this is the time to take the risk.
Yeah, I mean, and that's been the outlet every single time for Complexity. They could have gone for the pass. They could have found somebody on the right wing or left wing, but instead they wanted to go for the pass across, and now finally it comes through, but it feels too late. 8 seconds remaining.
They were in this position last time. Complexity scored with literally 8 seconds left. One down to Gen.G. It didn't have any cheeky kickoff plays.
Do you believe, Jorby? Do you
No,
believe?
no Spanish.
I believe.
Did we get the Spanish? Did we get it? No Spanish.
Okay.
But hang on.
5 seconds.
Off the ceiling. Appjack there. AJG, no chance. Chronic gonna keep it close, pop it up. Oh, AJG tried to get there, but no chance at it. CRR gonna come back at it. He's not going to. Full boost. That right to the corner makes it easy for Nolly to kill.
Still up.
CRR keeps it up. 20 boost for the bull. He's got it across.
Whoa.
Complexity denied in front of the box. Gen.G, move on.